This week, Games Workshop made announcements for Warhammer 40k, Age of Sigmar, and even Lord of the Rings. I'm Angela, you're watching Hobby Night, and let's jump into this week's Warhammer news.
No, not like that, you incompetent oaf. How hard is it to get my hands? It's almost perfect already. Why is it impossible to find decent help in these realms? Don't you know who I am?
All right, since there is a lot to cover, let's go ahead and start first with Age of Sigmar because, oh my goodness, we got a fantastic new reveal for a gorgeous, a magnificent new miniature, if you will, and it was revealed that Sigvald the Magnificent is going to be getting this new mini, and I absolutely love it. I am terrified of this mini, although I am really excited because I actually feel like he might make a really awesome plastic fulcrum for 30k Warhammer 30k. But like, oh my god, he is so gorgeous. I love everything that they've done with it. The color scheme for it is really, really appealing to me. I want him, but he is actually probably one of the miniatures that I'm the most afraid to paint, only because he's meant to be gorgeous, and I just don't know if I trust myself to get nearly as good as what the Golden Demon, or the Heavy Metal team did for it, because I assume that's probably who painted this. They didn't actually say on the stream or anything, they didn't have that information, but whoever did it, it's amazing. I absolutely adore the sculpt, but that wasn't all that we got revealed. No. We aren't just getting Sigvald. So they also had some new Warriors of Slaanesh paired with some demons, and they look kind of like light and fast. They also had some Slaaneshi Painbringers with some really heavy armor, and those miniatures as well are absolutely fantastic. I want to specifically call out the one figure with the whip. That mini is so amazing to me. I love the motion that they captured with the whip to indicate that it is like just about to crack. Like that reads so well to me, and I must applaud the sculptors for GW. Like they are making just absolutely gorgeous minis, because there are a lot of them that were, or actually several more that were revealed for this week's news and everything. But the Slaanesh stuff coming out for Age of Sigmar, I'm super hyped for. I really like where they're going with that. I know that it's also getting some Slaanesh things with Underworlds later as well, so that will be really cool. So they're really kind of pushing that, and I'm hoping that means that maybe we'll get something for the Emperor's Children later on down the line for 40k. Like, since we're doing all this Slaanesh stuff, maybe that's a hint. We can only hope, but I hope that is what is actually going to be happening. Oh, hey, didn't see you guys there. Well, while you're here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. Moving from Age of Sigmar and our Slaaneshi stuff over to Underworlds, where we are going to be getting a brand new warband coming soon that they revealed, and it is still very chaos themed, but it's a little bit less Slaanesh, which is fine, but they are glorious. And I actually think this kit might sell to a lot of people just for conversions for Chaos Space Marines, because holy heck, are they amazing. They are the, and I might mispronounce this, so I apologize if I do, but it is Khagra's Ravagers, and that is the next warband box that is coming out for the newest set of Underworlds themed stuff for the oh my gosh, I've forgotten the name. It's something Chasm. I can't remember at the moment right now. Direchasm, yes, it's the Direchasm set. So this is the first expansion for it. It is going to be the Slaves to Darkness warband, which is really cool. It comes with two fully armored warriors that kind of, one of them especially, is really, really reminiscent of Slambo, which is awesome. If you guys don't know what that is, it's a very old sculpt for a Chaos Warrior that was named and had like a pretty famous miniature that you can still find sometimes around, like on eBay and stuff. But he's a really cool guy. awesome that they're bringing that sort of aesthetic back. I absolutely love the old world chaos vibe of this box set. I want to see more of this. I really, really like it. I think it's going to be really cool. But not only did they have those 2 armored guys in the set, they also have 1 sorcerer, which is really awesome. I think that could easily be used in a Chaos army in 40k as well. All of these sculpts really could. It's awesome, except for like, I guess you would need to hope that they have like a helmeted version for one of the sisters, who is the big armored lady, who is my favorite. Like, she is, I love her. I absolutely love her. She's amazing. She's the sister to the Psyker, which is really cool. And that's the sort of narrative for this warband and everything. But all of the characters are great. I think all of them are going to be able to be used for conversions, which is fantastic. I think that kit's going to sell a ton. I hope I can get my hands on it because I want all of them. I might pick up 2, honestly, just to have extras so I can actually convert some of them into other things and then actually have some of them as just those minis, because they're really cool as they are. But I really, really enjoyed everything that they've been coming out with so far for Underworlds. And I actually, when Direchasm comes out, when that box set comes out, I actually want to get it so I can learn the rules again, because I think I've mentioned this in the past. I've played Underworlds a little bit, but it was with the first season and I don't really know where it's at currently, and it's been like 2 years since I've really touched it. So the new stuff that's been coming out, because it's been very like demon heavy and everything like that, very chaos, I'm very interested in it, and I want to kick those the elves' butts that come in that set as the chaos guys. So that should be fun. Next up, we have some news from Lord of the Rings, which is a game, honestly, that I've not looked that much into, but I love the sculpts that I always see coming out of it. And we've got a brand new one that I think is super rad. I am I've been impressed with almost all of the minis that I've talked about so far, but this one in particular, this Treebeard mini that we've got now that will be coming out sometime soon, that also comes with a Merry and Pipin, which is very cute. That Treebeard mini, the beard, like the detail in the beard. I don't know if it's just the way that they painted it or the sculpt that they did. It just looks amazing. I want to dry brush him because he feels like a really cool and fun one to dry brush, because there's so many variations of like the miniature to just be able to play around with and pick up various paint colors with. I think it would be amazing, but we're getting that mini, and I think that's pretty cool. You don't really see a lot of stuff coming out for Lord of the Rings, and I do like to see that them pushing it and actually giving some updated minis. And if we're going into this Ent route, it could be awesome. I'm curious if Wood Elf players for Age of Sigmar or even Blood Bowl might be able to use that Ent mini. I imagine it's probably too big for Blood Bowl, but like in Age of Sigmar, could you actually run that in a Wood Elves campaign? Let me know down in the comments if you're a Wood Elves player and you would actually use him in that. Let's go ahead and jump out of fantasy and into sci-fi with Necromunda, because we got a new announcement for another house, the Van Saar's house, which is House Artificer, which is very, very cool. They are a technology-focused gang, which is neat. We haven't really seen too much of that. When they first showed them, I was like, are they Necrons? Because there's two figures in it that has sort of a very bug-like aesthetic, and they have this like tabard or not a tabard, like a loincloth almost looking thing that sort of hangs down in front of them, and it reminds me of all of the things that you're seeing on a lot of the current Necron sculpts. So I'm very curious about the lore for this particular house, considering they seem to have a lot of forbidden technology, and considering Necromunda is a recruiting world, I have some questions about where they're getting it and why the Imperial Fists haven't been like confiscating them or doing something more with it. But beyond that, the gang looks amazing. I love the hover bike or hoverboard things that they have. I imagine that those will be used for a lot of conversions for other things. The one thing I will also say is these minis are by far the most Infinity looking miniatures I've seen GW come out with. I absolutely love them. It's great. I think they're fantastic, but it just really cracked me up when I saw them, because like first I was like, Necrons or Xeno stuff? And then immediately after that, I was like, wow, this really feels Infinity. But regardless, they are very cool. I think people are gonna have a lot of fun painting and building these guys, and like I said, using them as conversions, which honestly feels like the theme of this preview. A lot of the miniatures that we saw this week all feels like you can use them in other things, which I think is fantastic. I do like seeing miniatures being made by GW that can kind of go between the various games that they have, so that you could realistically, if you wanted to, potentially save your customers some money. It's probably not their intent with it, but that's how I'm gonna like to think about it.
The Imperium is dying. Worlds of metal and turning wheels. Countless lives bound in chains of lies. United by one certainty. All shall fall and wither and decay.
And last but not least, we have our Warhammer 40k news, and there was actually a fair amount that they announced. So let's go ahead and start with the big thing that they started with, which is the new campaign book. We got Act 1 for a new campaign. It's going to be Warzone Charadon, the Book of Rust, and it is going to be primarily focusing on Mechanicus and Death Guard, but they are also going to have rules in it for Imperial Knights as well as the Drukhari, which I think is really cool. I do also find it interesting that they specifically called out in the article Imperial Knights but not Chaos Knights, despite the fact that Death Guard and Black Legion are part of this campaign. It's being led by Typhus and mostly seemingly led by Death Guard, but it was ordered by the Black Legion and Abaddon, so supposedly. So like, I find it interesting that Chaos Knights are not going to be part of it, especially since the actual campaign is going to be taking place on a Forge world called Metallicus, or Metallica. So rock on. So that I think is interesting, because like Forge worlds often make a lot of the Titans and everything and the Knights and stuff like that. So are we going to see Chaos Knights come in? Maybe in later books, honestly, because it would probably be like multi-part, obviously, because this is Act 1. But I'm interested to see where that is going and what we're going to be doing with this. I also want to know, is this like officially a continuation of the Plague Wars? Because I don't actually think they said that. And if so, like, how is this tying with the Ultramarines? Because they definitely showed Sisters and Space Marines in the trailer, but didn't really mention them as part of like the overall book in regards to rules and everything like that. So it'll be interesting to see when this book comes out. And then on top of that, not only are we getting this new Crusade, or this new Warzone book, we're also getting an accompanying Crusade mission book to go with it that is called the Plague Purge. So this allows missions and themes, or missions themed around this book, so that you can play them in Crusade and do some interesting stuff with that. So honestly, it seems pretty fun, and since it's Death Guard specific, I'll probably be taking a look at it and seeing what options are in there for my Crusade battles. So I'm very much looking forward to that. Now, let's go ahead and move on to some more 40k news, and we finally got revealed the next codexes that were coming out in the first quarter of next year. And the first one is going to be the Dark Angels, which is kind of what a lot of us were expecting. I was really hoping it was going to be Talons of the Emperor based off of the cover, but I knew that in my heart that probably wasn't going to be the case, and I'm very glad that the Dark Angels are finally getting their codex. We got a look at a couple of Crusade rules for the Interrogator Chaplains, which I thought were neat, but that's kind of all that they've shown for. And they also showed a Interrogator Chaplain miniature, and I'm actually not sure if that is a new mini or if it's an existing mini and I've just not seen it myself before, but it was really cool looking, and if it is new, I'm very excited. If it's old, I'm still very excited. It might be something that I pick up because it's just really awesome looking. So yeah, we've got that for the Dark Angels, but we also got revealed, and not specifically when it's coming out, because the Dark Angels are coming in January. They haven't told us when specifically in January, but they're coming in January. we also got a reveal for the Drukhari Codex, which is unexpected, honestly. Like, I really thought, based off of the photo that they had shown in their like previous preview to sort of hint at what was coming, that it was going to be Tyranids based off of that art. But that's not the case. Drukhari it is, and honestly, I'm actually very excited about that because, one, we've been just getting a lot of Slaanesh things, so maybe we'll have a war between the Drukhari and like some Slaanesh demons coming out along down the line for a campaign or anything like that. But I also would really love to just see the Drukhari get some love in regards to rules buffs, and it does seem like they're doing that. So they claim that it's a full revisit to the book, and they showed us an example of some of the updates that are going to be happening, specifically with the incubi. So they have been buffed significantly. They have a 2+ to hit for their weapon skill, which is great. They have a strength 5. They have a 3 attack weapons or a skill now and everything like that. And then they also have damage to -3 AP weapons, which is great. So they are going to just tear up Space Marines in combat, and I think that's very exciting because we don't really see that very often. And this makes me very hopeful for Drukhari fans down the line. I have actually a very small force for Dark Eldar because back before I think they were called Drukhari, I had started to collect, and I didn't get very far with it. It's actually when I originally started my Necron army as well. We started the Drukhari and the Necrons at the same time and never got very far with them, picked up a couple of things, but I'm really excited to revisit those miniatures because they always look really, really cool. And there's new ways actually to build up your army now, which I think is really neat. And it's going back to some of how it used to work in, you know, other editions and everything, meaning that you can actually assemble them a little bit differently and actually not have to hold so much to detachments and end up losing CP or anything like that, but still being able to do very thematic and appropriate things for how the Drukhari raids are actually supposed to be built. So that's really exciting. I'm very hyped for this book. I definitely want to pick that one up. I probably will pick up the Dark Angels one too, honestly, but the Drukhari one is the one that I'm definitely the most excited for. I hope this means we're getting Vect soon, because I would love to see just a Vect mini out there, a new one, something very, very cool, and just really go there with that. Because they want, I mean, he should be Primarch level, right? Like, he's the leader, he has all the magic and everything. Like, let's just do something cool for him. I want that. GW, give it to me. And that is going to be basically everything for this week in Warhammer news. There was a lot announced, actually. In fact, there is even a little bit more. It wasn't part of the preview announcement that they did, but earlier in the week, we actually got the official announcement for all of the battle forces that we're going to be getting for this holiday season. Those also look really cool. So there's a lot of great new miniatures coming out, a lot of great new product. Let me know down in the comments which things you're most excited for. I know for me, I think it's definitely, honestly, I actually think I'm the most excited for that Underworlds kit, just because there's a lot of potential for some just fun short-term projects that I can do with that. So that one has me the most excited, but Sigvald I think is actually the next one, other than the fact that, you know, I'm getting some Death Guard stuff and that is very cool. But in regards to like the new minis, I think those are my favorite. But let me know down in the comments which ones are your guys' new favorite, what you're looking forward to the most. I have been Angela. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.